So the governors have made good their threat. They're now in court. They'll be hoping to have a date to explain to the Supreme Court on why they need that advisory. Of course, they want interpretation of whether the government can go ahead to implement the Appropriations Act of 2019 without the passage of the Division of Revenue Bill. And let's just start from the start, because you sit at the National Assembly, she sits at the Senate, and you sit at the County Assembly. So really, why is it so hard for all of you to agree so that you do not get to the situation that governors have to take that long walk to the Supreme Court looking for something that you people can actually resolve?
I think this is a typical case of what happens in Kenya, and I think I can blame it on the fact that there's too many men in leadership, because women deal with issues, men deal with egos. So this has become an ego war as opposed to being an issue-based conversation, because the issue is clear. When there is a money bill before the National Assembly, it has to go to the Budget Committee. Views from the National Treasury should be taken to ensure that whatever is decided by the National Assembly must actually, the finances has to be available. It's one thing to demand it, but if the country doesn't have it, it doesn't have it. And so, as opposed to them sitting and saying, you know what, we have this amount and we can agree to grow the amount that is given to because it's a very small difference where the disagreement came. It's less than 20 billion where the talks broke, which means they can agree that if it doesn't, it can be reviewed during supplementary budget and so on, but it should not be necessary to go to the court. And in fact, Kenyans should desist from going to the court to find political solutions. Some solutions are political, and you must go to the referendum and the people of Kenya, and not to the courts, because the case is very clear. Money bills are within the mandate of the National Assembly. So yes, Senate can pass it, but it still has to come like any other money bill. Like any other member who has to pass a money bill has to go through the Budget Committee. Right. The Budget Committee must listen to the National Treasury. You say
that the Budget Committee has to listen to the National Treasury, but is that listening binding on them despite the demand from the counties and, of course, the advisory from the Commission on Revenue Allocation? Okay,
let's make it simple. If your children in your house said, I want a new car or a new house, and you don't have the money, it's one thing for they can demand it all they want, but if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. And so, really, the part of listening to Treasury is saying, this is how much revenue the country has collected, this is how much money we have borrowed, this is how much the donors have given to us, and this is what every sector requires to function. Yes, only a reasonable, you have to take that into account. You have to take it into account, because you're dividing based on what? You're dividing based on the money that's available.
But okay, you want to go first, Senator. So she says that the National Treasury is like the father or like the parents. So are they honest?
You're forgetting one line. It's become an ego trip as opposed to an issue-based conversation.
Are you convinced? Is that so?
I guess I am not convinced by that. I feel here we have a situation where our own constitution that we passed is being flouted, and people are joking with Kenyans' lives. Our leaders are joking with Kenyans' lives. It is very simple. The budget process making is very simple. You cannot bypass the Division of Revenue Bill to pass the Appropriation Bill. Out of the question. It's going to be illegal. Now, we've seen a situation where the National Assembly...
Though that's a matter now before the Supreme Court.
Yes, let it be. Because we've seen a situation here where the National Assembly is passing bills by passing Senate. Why? Why are we seeing a situation where our own constitution that is very clear about how these things are being done is being floated? Counties must receive their allocations. CRA has done their part. They've given their recommendation. Senate has done their part. They're given their recommendation. Why is it that we have a situation where National Assembly wants to be the one to take now, to decide on what the counties should receive?
But they say, like she says, that the National Treasury is only able to finance up to 310 billion shillings. How do you reconcile the recommendation from CRA versus what the National Treasury is saying?
Again, what takes precedence? When you see how much money has been allocated to other dockets that are national government related, why is it that we are not giving the priority to the counties? Is a question. It's not a question of whether there is or there is no money.
Speaker,
money has always been there.
Speaker
So the question is, how do we then prioritize?
When I come in, I will be a bit, I don't want to be county or whatever.
Right.
I want to look at Kenya now as we are. And I want to ask my governors. First of all, for the last, now we are going for last 7, 8 years after we started devolution. And I would wish the Senate also should be asking that question. That we needed to have seen now counties that are able to survive even without the national government. That was the principle of that constitution. That at a time will come and you are able to run your things, yet, yes, you'll have your allocation of revenue, but you are able, that you can't just say, now, I'm stuck. Because national government has not given me money, I'm stuck. Yet, yet, you've gone on, you've added more allocations of revenue where you're able to pick revenue. You've decided even to increase places where you are able to collect revenue. You've ensured traders, you've added on them a burden, you need revenue. The biggest challenge we have faced is that this thing of itemizing our budget, which we have refused as a country completely, to itemize, counties to itemize their budget and say, look, in the last 1 year, I've been able to spend this billions because my itemized budget is 1 to... So that even when you're going to the National Assembly and you're saying we don't have 20 billion, you see now we are in court because of 20 billion.
Right.
And this 20 billion is for 47 counties, yeah? It's not for one county. So we are saying what?
About
we are saying
400
400 million each. Surely, 400 million each, you would have just sat down, go back to your summit, meet the president and tell, we need 20 billion. Reasons, 400 million is supposed to go to this county for this issue, for this issue. And at the time we are agreeing on the itemized, that because I don't have 400 million, this item in my county is going to have a challenge in terms of giving services to my people, I think would have been the best. But for us now to sit as a country and discuss 20 billion, yet we have this corruption, because that's where I'm coming in. Corruption where you have some governors with 2.5 billion in their accounts, others with CG what. We must be serious. We must be serious, because you can't tell me all your local revenue, which national government doesn't touch, is not there also. You know, and it is very sad when you come and tell us, there's no county that can tell us, in our local revenue, we've been able to collect at least 3 billion. So what we are looking for is this. We have refused completely and just kept quiet. So now we are going to go around and tell counties, because of 20 billion, I want to tell Kenyans, you can imagine our governors are in court because of 20 billion, which I know it's a lot of money. But now, going back now to the counties, you'll find maybe Lamu is just looking for 1 billion. Or even 100 million, or even 50 million from that money. So why can't each county, that is why the Constitution gave them the opportunity that each county is dynamic, that you can go negotiate with the national government as you, as a county, not as now a group like this.
But Speaker Elachi, that's not the plan according to the Constitution. It's supposed to be division of revenue. Bill is done to allocate finance for the counties.
It is a plan in the Constitution, Sammy. What we missed in this Constitution is the day we decided in a whole lump sum we can just devolve functions to all counties. They are not the same. Each county has its dynamic, has its strength. Some have a lot of weaknesses. Some cannot survive. Meaning, if today the national government, or you get a president who doesn't understand this, because one day we will. So we will die. I saw the other day Samboja. I saw Samboja saying this county, because of the issues you have, has to just go back to the national government. Wasn't he a governor saying that? Yes, because there are reasons why you say that. That's why I'm saying each county is dynamic. Each county has an allocation among this 20 billion. Maybe some are not even part of this 20 billion. So why can't we come out of court, relook at this and ask ourselves, is there a way the National Assembly will sit and do a supplementary that will come and add this 20 billion?
Let me start with
I'm not going to court.
So she's suggesting that we take a step back, but excuse me, there has been the attempts to do the mediation. It has failed. And the governors, we had Governor of Mandera yesterday, Ali Robin, he was saying that they have not been able to finalize on their budget plans because they're not certain about how much money is available. It's, of course, affecting the counties, whether we want it or not.
Okay, you know, I think if you're a smart planner at the county, what I would have in my budget, I would have a scenario A, a scenario B, and scenario C. Should I get the entire money I want? This is how it will work. If I get so much, I get. So that you already know which are the programs that you can readjust depending on how much money you have. That's how we plan our lives. And he can say, these are mission critical, so therefore I will go ahead. But should I not get all the money that I require, I can be able to postpone the undertaking of the certain programs. And I want to re-emphasize what Speaker Alachi has said. There's been very much increased collection of revenue from the counties. I know if I drive from Pastelgeo Baringo on my way from Nakuru, I will have a cess checkpoint. Then I get to Elgeyo Marakwet, there is a cess checkpoint. Then I get into Wasingishu, there is a cess checkpoint. And I drive towards Nandi, there is a cess checkpoint, okay? Every market I go to visit women at the market, I find that there is 40 shillings that is asked by Wasingishu County, for example, because that's the only example I know. And what happens is, I was shocked that you actually pay it in cash. Even the cess checkpoint, you pay it in cash. So how is it that we have the highest revenue collection in the history of Kenya from counties? More than ever, not more than ever that we even had during when we had the municipal councils. Right. And yet, actually the revenue collection has gone down, according to a statement that was made 2 years ago by one of the Council of Governors. I think it was Governor Nanok at that time who was the chair. And so it tells you something. First of all, they must go back and relook at their revenue collection base, methodology. I know, and it is proven, that the moment you move to electronic payment of money, the money almost quadruples. So when this cash is carried, how do you account for it? When you, in this day and age, why would you have a paper? Whatever. So I want the counties to tell us how they have put in all manner of systems to ensure tight and proper and secure revenue collection methodology to optimize their revenue collection. Two, we also need to ask ourselves that the counties should be able to tell us, we have looked at the budget. And that's why I'm saying that I can see that the disagreement is more of an ego trip as opposed to an issue-based, because issue-based, I should have been seeing clearly here on the headline saying that the governors have said that the following, county by county, the following services are mission critical, and the Kenyans will suffer, not the counties. Kenyans, human beings within our counties, shall suffer if these particular programs are not run. And the shortfall that we have for the following programs is so much money. And based on that also, I want them to go the extra mile. Look at the national budget and say, I think the government should reduce spending on the following programs, which are not necessary and should come to counties. That way, it will be very easy to convince me. But now, no one is telling me...
Don't you, before I come to you, Senator, don't you think that's asking for so much from the governors, yet it is their responsibility
no. Let me ask you,
as the members of parliament to look at that?
No, let me explain to you. No. This is very simple. When you manage money in the government, it's very, and I've done that in the past. I remember one time looking at the judiciary budget and I said, we've been given 2.6 billion shillings for construction, yet we don't even have the architectural drawings and we haven't secured the land. I went back to Treasury and I said, because we want money to do these other programs, do this. Take this one back. I will ask for it next year. But meanwhile, it gives me an opportunity. So it is possible to do that kind of negotiation with the National Treasury and before the Senate, when they appear before the Senate. Those are the negotiations. Believe me, it will be very difficult, even for Parliament, to get out of that argument if that type of logical, economically sensible argument was made. And it is not the job, by the way, these documents are available. It's just that I've not studied in such in-depth. the details of the current. But if I did it within 2 hours, I'll figure it out, because all the information is available on what is going where. Remember that if you look at the printed estimates, it even tells you which paper is being paid and who is ordering flowers for which ministry. So they should be telling us, we want all the money that is used to order flowers for the ministries to be removed and brought to counties. We want the money that is being used for ordering food from the Serena and from the Intercon for eating in meetings to be removed and brought to the counties. But if they tell me that, I'll be at the top actually fighting for them.
They also
but I want to see them to internalize.
Senator first, of course, you sit in a house that is that has the responsibility to protect the interests of the counties.
Absolutely.
And now you hear what one of the members of the National Assembly is saying. So where do you go from here? Because obviously there's that question that Kenyans are asking. You have the responsibility to collect your own source revenues, but they're not doing so well in terms of what is reported.
Yes.
So how do we resolve this situation? Because the counties need their budgets.
Again, I come back to how these things are supposed to run. What is the process? It is clear. It is stipulated in the Constitution. We have commissions. We have control of budget. We have auditor. All those work for the work of Parliament, so that we are able to see what is happening in the counties. So now the question comes, why are we in this situation? Why is it that Senate also wants to go to court? Because that is what actually we are planning. We need constitutional, we need constitutional interpretation of this situation, so that it doesn't
what is so difficult?
It is not that it's difficult. The question is, are we all doing what we are supposed to be doing? Yeah?
So
Money is supposed to go to the county. And the CRA has done their part. The Senate has done their part. Why should National Assembly come and cut those budgets? Why?
Article 114, which has got to do with money bills.
Yes.
You read Article 114.
It doesn't matter, because this is the sole mandate of where Senate should come in.
Let me ask you, Senator.
Works, listen, CRA advises Parliament.
Yes.
Parliament is both national
and the Senate.
Senate has the duty to oversee counties. So we have to fight for those allocations. We have looked at those budgets and we have said, no, this is what is appropriate. Don't forget again, we are the same Parliament that looks into the county budgets and how they have done through our CIP, the CPIC Senate Committee. So we are best placed to decide from what our CRA has advised on what should be allocated to the counties.
But you are alive to the fact that you may not have all the money that you want to finance the programs of the government?
No, there's nothing like there's not enough money.
No, I'm asking that because if you look at the budget, the total budget...
Tell me where the money will come from. Just tell me where the 20 billion could come from.
Let me tell you.
And then also ask me, I have two questions for the Senator. One, tell me where the money will come from specifically and what expenditure should be cut, and then I will be on your side. Number two, I would like you to tell me that the Senate standing orders recognizes Article 114 of the Constitution, which says that all money bills must go through the steps in the National Assembly. With an input from the Parliamentary Budget Office, which is full of the top-notch economists.
Let me answer the first one.
Do you admit that?
The first one. The first one, I go with what Madam Speaker here spoke about. You cannot say this country has no money. How? When people are back, you know, they are putting money in their bedrooms, whatnot. We have so much corruption. Can we seal those loopholes? Then when they are sealed, we say there's no money. Treasury today cannot say you are not giving money to counties because there's no money.
Senator,
that is not here up for discussion.
That's okay. There may be cases
the money must be found.
There may be cases of...
I would want to ask also this question. Where does this money come from? From Kenyans.
Yes, from Kenyans.
Right.
And it must go back to Kenyans.
That is collected by Kenyans. Right now, Kenyans are struggling.
Hard work.
You know, when they hear us even talking about this, they are wondering, do they know we have slept hungry?
Yeah.
So may I want the governors to rethink one issue. Okay. And I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm just saying, by the time we were coming to this budget, I believe there was a time the president just said it clearly, that look, we have to go and tie our knots because the challenges we are facing are 1, 2, 3. We've just come from an election. You know, we have to also look at all the ups and downs we've gone through as a country. Okay. When you think of how you collect your revenue. Now, Kenyans, we collect revenue and we consume the same every month. That's how we collect our revenue, isn't it? That's how we get our revenue. And it goes back and we use it. When you hear KRA telling you, we don't have this, honestly, it is up to Parliament again to rethink and look at what Treasury has brought and ask themselves, what is the index of the country at? Where are we in terms of our macro revenue? Because people look at the big money, but they forget all this is money that we are supposed to be paying. It's a loan.
Oh, all right.
Now, let's come back to the real revenue that you're collecting.
We need to take a short break, but I need to tie this question with Senator Kasanga here. So, of course, there is that clamor for more resources, both by the Senate and the Council of Governors. But when you look at it, because it has gone, this bill has gone through the processes as foreseen by the Constitution. You've gone to mediation, it has failed. The Deputy President has tried, it has failed. Now we have reports that the same bill of 310 billion shillings to the counties will still come back to the House. So how do you suggest we move on?
First, I repeat this, there's a reason why everyone is rushing to court. There's a reason why governors are rushing to court. There's a reason why Senate is going to go to court. Because we need constitutional, again, interpretation, because the process is being floated. Even when Madam Honorable Cholet is talking about, let me just answer her issue on the Article 114 you were saying on money bill. We even need a constitutional interpretation on what is money bill. Because it seems like the way National Assembly understands money bill is anywhere where there's the word money, it becomes a money bill.
No, but that definition is in the Constitution.
Yes, but you forget also the Senate has to overlook issues of counties. How then do you remove money from those issues that have to do with counties?
That's what I'm asking.
So we have to get the courts to draw a clear line. And that is why everyone must go to court.
That's what I'm asking you, Senator. Okay, assuming that the National Assembly is right, it has gone through the Parliamentary Budget Committee, what do you call it? Parliamentary Budget Office, and it has been decided that it's prudent to allocate just 310, then the senators want more and it's not possible. So how do you move from there?
It's the not possible
There
part.
was a mediation. What happened in the mediation?
The mediation failed. It collapsed.
So they agreed on 327,
up,
down from 335. That's something that's a very minor difference. So I think, if they had gone on with the negotiations, they would have been able to finalize it.
But you see, we've had these issues of mediation in Senate and National Assembly. In fact, with all the bills that have been directed to the mediation, you get a situation where you have this I don't want to call it a supremacy war. It's a situation where one person is looking down at another as if we all don't know what we are here to do.
Okay, all right.
So we have that situation.
All right. Unfortunately, this conversation may not resolve the supremacy war, the fight with egos. Let's take a look at some of the feedback on what you're saying at Citizen TV Kenya, Sam Gituku, the hashtag Bing Daybreak at Zinzi_K, as well as this is Shikhulea Kalam. You're saying that legislators should... I need you to listen to this, what Kenyans are saying, that legislators should release money to the counties. They are soon going back home in the same counties after retirement, or they think they'll stay in Nairobi forever.
Nairobi is a county.
You can't
okay, another tweet here from Engineer Lazaro. The tug of war between the Senate and the National Assembly is one of the reasons Kenyans are calling for urgent review of the Constitution. First of all, we're feeling overwhelmed with unbearable wage bills from over-representation.
That's correct assessment.
Iregi Sam, Imperial National Assembly. The only place you can find a person transforming from adopted... Whoa, okay. I think that went personal. Francis Kigondu, these counties and their governors, backed by the senators, are a very bad joke. They are behaving rationally by saying they cannot reduce their budgets. Even the judiciary has reduced its budget. The governors should manage what they have been given properly. So that's just a bit of what you've been saying. We're here with Senator Sylvia Kasanga, Speaker Beatrice Zalachi, and Honorable Gladys Cholet. We take a short break. When we return, we'll be talking about matters education and what the new tug of war is, of course, in as far as the implementation of the new curriculum as well as the congestion in schools. Back in a moment.